So this is how to pitch EHRs or service-based businesses about our referrer program. Now, if you potentially watched the telehealth platform referral program, you would have understood how it works, but I just want to explain it a little bit more clearly here because it was potentially a little bit confusing there. And number two, if you already did watch it, then you just move on and skip this first section. I'm sure I'll maybe do like a minute to 2 minutes of explaining this, okay? So the referral program is basically where, obviously you as a referrer, you're in here or as an affiliate, you are making 30% of all the clinics and telehealth volume that they're running. Obviously, our percent, 30% of our percent, right? We take 15, so $1 million comes to 150 grand, 150 grand comes to 45 grand that you take, okay? Now, the thing is, if you refer a referrer, we will give you another 5% on top of the 30%, right? Or sorry, not on top of the 30%, but a 5% of all the other clinics that referrer refers. You see what I'm saying? So let's say you are you're a EHR, right? And you have another friend that's a founder of another EHR, and they want to integrate Affinity AI. They want to have compounded medication prescription, that ability in their EHR, right? Then you would say something like, hey, check out Affinity AI. They have this capability. They're integrated into our EHR. We're loving it. We're making great money also from the affiliate program, and our clinics are loving it too. It's a win-win-win. Would you like to check it out and integrate it into your actual platform? They're like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll check it out. And you could send them your referral link to make another 5% on top of it, okay? On top of their percent, and obviously they would get the rest of the 30% to kind of make it fair. So now that it's a bit more clear on what the program looks like, and I think it only took 1 minute and 30 seconds. Now I'm going to explain how you should pitch it, right? Which is through email, SMS, or conversations, as well as the different types of groups that will be doing this. Which, you know what? Let me do a quick. Once again, you could skip this section if you're already familiar with this. But this script that I'm going to explain real quick here, over the script that I'm about to talk about, right? It's for specifically the EHRs, right? Which is one of the best groups to be a referral partner of. If not, we could do franchises, certification groups, other tech companies, franchise developers, clinic launchers, marketing agencies, etc. In case that you didn't watch the videos earlier about who to refer, right? Who to refer over here. And what you could do is go back and watch the who to refer videos, which should be around here. And that essentially, I want you to do that so that you understand who the script is for. You see what I'm saying? In case you've been a little bit naughty and have been skipping around. Okay, so let's go to the email section, right? You see something like, hey Nate, it's been a minute. How have you been doing? Obviously remove this section, if they're already warmed up and whatever, all right? Then you would say, hey, with your company, whether it's an EHR, educational group, certification group, GPO, etc., have you ever thought of kind of adding an e-prescription platform, specifically peptides/GLP-1s, or referring or sharing an e-prescription platform to your patients? And you can say something like, well, hey, if so, have you taken Affinity AI? I heard that they bring 20 plus different compounders into one portal with great pricing. So honestly, this email depends a little bit on the different types of referrers, depending on if they even are too familiar with, clinics and what they actually want. So for EHRs, this is pretty a good message you could send, right? I heard that they have 20 plus compounders in one API. Actually, probably say API, but yeah. And then for educators, let's say you would say something like one portal. So it just depends on the person that you're saying it to. So I would kind of adjust the pitch to that person. If you need help on understanding who or how to pitch this, we have a affiliate specific support team that I'm pretty sure should be around here is the button that you could reach out to them. You could text them. You could even get on a call, and they should be able to answer your questions around how to improve the referral process, as well as I think we have scheduled calls or scheduled coaching calls that you could join. I think it's somewhere here. That one we're probably looking to add a little bit later, but it should be somewhere around here, which then you'll get more education and tips on how to pitch this specific affiliate program. Okay, so now you could say if they're because sometimes a lot of these guys, they don't really understand much about the actual compounded medication space. So they may have some objections or questions, whatnot. You could answer them and be like, hey, well, let's say they're asking like, well, hey, is what even is this? Why is this valuable? X, Y, Z. You can say something like, well, name. It's kind of a solution I'm sure your clients have already asked for, that you'd probably really, or that you'd see they kind of really want, your clients, which is peptides and GLP-1s. They're an exploding category, but traditional e-prescription solutions like SureScripts and DoseSpot were built for insurance-based pharmacies while ignoring compounders. So Affinity AI, it's actually built specifically for compounding pharmacies. They can pull exact dates and shipping times, live stock, dosages, and traditional EHRs or ERX platforms just cannot. So check it out here, and here's the link, right? So obviously you wouldn't plug a bunch of CTAs. I think you get kind of what my point is, where you would say it in this way first to kind of get them at least like interested in it, and then from there you kind of move on. All right, I just want to make it white so it's more visible. All right, now Affinity AI is built specifically for company pharmacies. Yeah, so all this stuff, you just send another email. You wouldn't probably send like another link. Obviously, when they're like, hey, I'm interested, then you would send the link over here. So just kind of have your social awareness meter out there and adjust accordingly. Okay, for the SMS side, same thing. You're just kind of taking this pitch that we had up there and then pivoting it down here. So you say something like this, and it's just pretty much in a text format that we've rewritten it. Okay, but I think what will be more helpful is if I kind of educate you on the different things that the different groups are looking for a lot of the times, or the questions that they typically may ask, and then answering those. So a lot of the EHRs, they're like, hey, how long is the actual, how long is the effort of integration? Which, that I'll talk about later. But you know what? How about this? Let me go through the rest of this conversational pitch, and then I'll talk about how to, adjust the pitch a little bit so that it can be, optimized for them. And if you just want to skip to that section, then it should be somewhere maybe a bit further down the timeline. So then you can, skip to that section and understand how to pitch it more precisely to that person. So you say something like, well, hey, how you been? You been doing okay? If you're in a conversational situation, obviously, if they're already warmed up, like you just get right into it. But if not, then you'll just rapport build a little bit. FYI, this conversational section is for like phone calls, right? Either Zoom calls, in-person conversations, things like that. Okay, once you build that rapport, then you'll go into transitioning about talking about the Affinity AI. You say something like, well, hey, with your company, have you ever kind of thought of adding any prescription platforms specifically for peptides and GLP-1s? They may ask like, well, hey, what even is this, right? Then you would say what we said above. I actually want to expand on this point a little bit when I talked about it above over here. Essentially, a lot of these e-prescription platforms, they integrate a lot of these EHRs, they integrate e-prescription platforms, right? These are SureScripts, DoseSpot. I think there's ScriptSure is another one. These guys, or these different platforms, they are built for the traditional pharmacies, okay? And they only bring in data from those old pharmacies, right? Like, not really pertaining to stock, not really pertaining to exact dosages. They only bring in the data from there. A lot of the compounders aren't even on these different traditional e-prescription rails, along with the fact that SureScripts, DoseSpot, they were built dozens of years ago. So it is old and transparently not the greatest experience. And in fact, these guys, they charge the ERX platform, or they charge the EHRs, the EMRs, right? And with us, we flip it around. We make it not just better experience, faster, and easier and simpler, but also we pay the EHRs to kind of join their platform. We flip the model around. And so that's kind of the core value prop. But the biggest thing here is the fact that now a lot of their clinics have access to compounding pharmacies, which is weirdly the biggest growing market, right? Peptides, GLP-1s, TRT, HRT, hair loss drugs, sexual health drugs. And yet it's the least served. They're growing the fastest. It's the fastest growing market, and yet it's the least served. And so this is why a lot of the EHR platforms that we've talked to, right? OptiMantra, Cbro, Practice Better, Portrait Spa, they jump onto it when they hear about us because it just tends to be such a great opportunity for them. And so, Now, that hopefully explains that point as to the understanding behind why EHRs want to integrate us, and then from there you can facilitate your pitch with the understanding of why it's valuable to them. Okay, but speaking of that, then you kind of move on to the core value props, explaining this. Yeah, if you watch the other videos over here, you already heard this stuff, but I'll just say it again in case this is the first video you're watching. So the value props that Affinity AI brings, you would say something like, well, hey, the EHR guys or, the service-based businesses, they're like, why is this useful? You can say something like, well, yeah, the biggest value for the clinics is the fact that they're able to bring, Affinity AI is able to bring a faster experience. Because instead of needing to, have multiple compounding for APIs, right, multiple different portals, with varied pricing, stock, dosages, shipping time, support time, compliance, etc. We can bring that all into one API that you plug into your EHR. You can bring that into one portal. They could share with your entire certification group's community of brick and mortar clinics. You can share that one portal with all of the different clinics that you're launching as a clinician launcher, right? You could share that with all of your franchisors that you're connected to as a franchise developer. And you could plug it in, and it's just very simple. The second component here is that they're cheaper because they're able to negotiate with the net volume of all these clinics and bring down the prices with the compounders. And number three, they're safer because they bring all the resources to validate compliance and product safety into one place, like COAs, adverse events, state licensures, etc. of all these different compounders to double check that they are legitimate. And if there's confusion potentially around all the things that we look at, here is them listed around their feedback, product, red flags, compliance, and operational components. So this tends to be stuff that a lot of the clinics already look for, but then we bring it into one place. So it's just much simpler. Instead of them needing to go to the compounder's website, plug their website then into AI, let's say, and be like, AI, please do this research, make no mistake, figure it out. Like, we don't want to do that. And now when they're asking about, well, hey, this sounds probably like something that would be pretty expensive, something that would need to charge something coming up front for our clinics that we're referring this to, what does the pricing look like? What's the risk, right? And you'll say something like, well, actually, it's completely free for the clinics to join because Affinity, they charge a 15% up mark on that bulk pricing as they negotiate with the compounders. So it actually nets out to be cheaper than even if the clinics went direct to the compounders. And the EHR or the clinic referrer is like, this seems legit. This seems like it makes sense. And then when you're now pitching the idea of being a referral partner for them or joining our referral program, you would say something like, well, hey, and they also have a referral program where if your company integrates into Affinity AI, instead of a traditional e-prescription platform, I think I already mentioned this earlier, but instead of them paying you, or instead of you needing to pay the e-prescription platform as the EMR, Affinity actually pays you. So of that 15% that Affinity makes, right, because they take a 15% up mark, you would make 30% of that for the first year that every clinic joins. So let's say it's $1 million in volume that comes in. Affinity would make 150 grand of that. That's 15%. Of that 150 grand, 30%, you would make 45 grand. Not 50 grand. My math was bad. So now the EHRs are seeing the picture. They're like, oh, this is valuable for my clinics, so I'm doing a good job. This is unique and different to what we already have, so this is valuable there. The price, the risk is low. Like they just join and that's it. And I'm earning when I'm doing this. I mean, this is just a no-brainer at this point. And then if you throw in the decreasing the risk, effort, and time, now it's just a no-brainer. You could say something like, well, hey, with EHRs, the big concern with them is like, well, what's the bandwidth? How long does it take to actually integrate? And you can say something like, well, hey, the integration is actually very simple. Affinity's API and documentation is extremely developer friendly. They also have a team of 4 deployed engineers that can assist in the integration. There's also varying degrees of integration customizability you can do from an iframe where you don't need to do much integration work to an API. You don't. Okay, let me reset that again because I messed the tonality there. There's also varying degrees of integration customizability, right? Where you can go from an iframe where you don't need to do much work to integrate, also to an API, right? Where you can fully white label and customize the UI as you wish. Okay, so now the EHRs are thinking, man, this is just a no-brainer deal. Let's do it. The services, you'll say something like, well, hey, referring is actually very simple. All you need to do is kind of fill out a few steps of an onboarding form, and you get access to Affinity's affiliate portal with personalized tracking link, dashboard to visualize the earnings, and then also free training, which is basically what you're watching now, and message templates on how to show the value of Affinity AI without sounding salesy. So hopefully, this section here is like literally the training that you're watching now. So hopefully you're believing that this is true because you're literally watching this now and getting the proof now. So there is how you would decrease that effort and risk and sacrifice. And just a quick tip for how to assist in referring referrers. An affiliate program actually is not joined and judged and grown based on the compensation, right? I could give, 100% of Affinity's commission of what we make, right, to a referrer. But if there was 20 different years that it took to join the program and all this effort and all this, and the onboarding portal had 1,000 different steps, no one would join it, right? The referral program would never work. But it's all about decreasing that effort and risk and sacrifice and time. And that's why you say these kinds of things so that the affiliate, right, the referrer that you're referring would know that, hey, this is worth my time. I just have to do not much work and make money, literally the make money while you sleep type of idea, which is not a claim that this is going to happen this time. It's just the idea of it is not financial advice. And that's not a promise that you're going to make money while you sleep. Okay, testimonial wise, then you could even throw in something like this after they've after they've decreased the risk. They might be like, well, hey, how's it been for you being part of this referral program? Well, you could say, yeah, I'm actually even in their affiliate program, and I've earned this much dollar amount without much effort. The platform is free for clinics to join, so it makes their life kind of easier, or join while it makes their life easier and makes sourcing cheaper. So it kind of tends to be a no-brainer pitch for the actual clinics. And for instance, I just shared it with X Clinic a few days back. They joined and have already earned X dollars from it. So now you're building, credibility as you being a direct affiliate. Hopefully you've been part of this affiliate program. Hopefully you have found success with this, and now you're convicted to share the affiliate program itself. And so then you would share, obviously you would share the experience. And this is an example template, so I don't want to put words in your mouth, but this is just a good way to share it, okay? Or good way to up the credibility of what you're talking about, as well as build social proof, right? And then once you say all this stuff, you can say being like, hey, well, if you're interested in joining, then I've actually sent you a link. Check out via email or SMS, and go ahead and book in a demo, or actually just fill out the form, or sent you a link to join the affiliate program, period. Okay, and then that's it. That is pretty much it. Okay, so that is, okay, let me go back to the core page, but that's pretty much how you go ahead and be a telehealth or refer different EHRs and services. Maybe just adjust it and explain things that different services will need, but yeah, that is the gist.